So within the next half an hour, an independent commission is expected to recommend expanding Heathrow Airport.
If that decision is supported by the government, then one place will face a very uncertain future. The village of Harmondsworth may be flattened. Dom is there for us this morning to tell us all about it. Morning, Dom.
Morning.
Yeah, morning, Bill. If you see where I am now, you'd think I was in a village in the middle of some bucolic rural area. We've got a village pub, the Five Bells. Behind me, a nice twee cottage. You see the church in the background, the beautiful trees. You'd think we weren't talking about an airport, but we are, because this village, Harmondsworth, it's been here for 1,000 years. It was in the Doomsday Book, but it's just about a mile or two north of the Heathrow perimeter. And here, this village would be flattened if the Airports Commission recommends, as we think is going to happen, that Heathrow gets a new runway. It's one of three options. Gatwick is one. There are two runway options for Heathrow. We think the preferred one is a new third runway in Heathrow, and it would be built right along this village green where I am at the moment. The Airports Commission, which has been deciding on this for a few years, says there are two main benefits for building a new runway or having extra runway capacity at one of these two airports around London. The first is the economic benefit. Gatwick would be £40 billion, rising to £200 billion for a Heathrow new runway. The second is jobs. 33,000 jobs by 2050 at Gatwick, rising to 100,000 jobs at Heathrow. And we've just been speaking to somebody that came up to the camera here and said, you know, he was wearing a hotel shirt, so he benefits from the airport already, but is very, very against a new airport, a new runway being here at Heathrow. So there is conflict here. Let's talk to John Grant about that conflict.
Morning, Dominic.
Morning, John. You're from a data company that monitors air travel. It's a split decision, isn't it? There are people in split minds here. You are very sure, though, that there is a big benefit for a new runway. What is it?
Absolutely huge. We're in a situation where we've run out of capacity at Heathrow and Gatwick. They're running at about 99.8% of available utilisation. We're turning airlines away. We're losing international connectivity. We need this to happen as quickly as possible.
Which is the right airport to get it, Gatwick or one of the two new options at Heathrow? What do you think?
If I had to put a bet on it, I'd say that Heathrow is the better for the UK economy. It's going to give us connectivity, new destinations that aren't served at the moment. It's going to allow businesses and financial services and the things we're good at to grow. But Gatwick has got a compelling case as well, and that's, you know, we suspect we're going to hear that that's a viable option as well. So it's interesting. All we've done in 4 years, though, is ended up in a situation where we still have two options to play. These will only be built in 2030, the Heathrow options. I mean, this is years away. This is over a decade away. Are you sure that we're going to need something in 15 years' time? We've prevaricated so long already. We really have got to a point where we can't squeeze any more in. You know, if you look at Heathrow, there's probably, I think it's about another 4,000 available slots that have been squeezed in for 2015. One new destination started from Heathrow in 2015. You look what happens at Frankfurt, you look what happens at Paris. You know, we're more efficient here today than either of those airports in terms of the way we handle passengers, and guys do a brilliant jobs in working these things through. Is it worth the destruction of a village like this? I wasn't expecting it to be this lovely. It's a lovely place. Is it worth it? Nor was I, and it's beautiful, and I have complete empathy with everyone, but you know, we've got to look at the bigger economic picture for the country and the opportunities that will be created for economic activity, jobs, and for the prosperity of the UK. London already has 6 airports serving it. Do we really need an expansion of one? I mean, surely there's enough capacity to choose from already. Well, there is spare capacity at Stansted and there is spare capacity at Luton, but I think we need to accept that customers want to go to the airports that are popular. You know, that's a phenomena of the airline industry, that it's a bit like a honeypot. Everyone wants to go there. Critical mass is important. It's about frequency. It's about airlines having a network of services that they offer their customers. Aren't you benefiting? Isn't your argument mainly for the benefit of foreign travellers to come through a hub like Heathrow? They spend, you know, an hour here and that's it. It's a bit of a myth, really, because you know, some of those services that airlines operate couldn't operate without connecting passengers. There wouldn't be enough demand. And also, compared to other major airports in Europe, actually Heathrow has a relatively low share of connecting traffic. You know, compare it to somewhere like Amsterdam, where nearly 45, 50% of people are connected. Here at Heathrow, it's nearer to 20, 25. So it's not as big as people think.
OK. John, thank you very much. So we get the announcement in about, 15 minutes' time, and I think the residents of this village will be glued to their TVs and their radios watching breakfast, no doubt, about this decision. And there'll be quite a lot of anger, I think, here, if Heathrow is chosen and this village is due to be flattened over the next few years. Back to you.
Dom, thank you very much indeed. And they might want to know, other people as well. We will speak to the Commission Chairman, Sir Howard Davis, here on Breakfast about 7:20. Also Boris Johnson as well, about 7:20.
It's 14 minutes to 7. It was very hot yesterday. It may be just as hot, if not hotter, today.
Yeah.
Carol can tell us more from Wimbledon.